She does everything she can to keep her name in the headlines, yet for some reason, it doesn't translate to ticket sales, doesn't translate to television ratings. Angel Reese was the biggest star in Unrivaled. Hell, she was the only star in Unrivaled. No one was watching.
Nobody showed up to this sucker. Nobody. Let me just blow this. Look at that. I noticed it right off the bat. Look, number one, look at all the purple seats down here in this lower bowl section. And then the entire top bowl, forget about it. Forget about it.
Season game against Brazil at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Seats at the arena for the May 4th matchup between the Indiana Fever and Brazil were first offered to season ticket holders and a few top donors. It didn't take long for them to be gone.
And then here we have today, basically clapping back at all of that and proving that they know that they are the moment, they are the Showtime team, they are the biggest team currently in the WNBA. This kind of stuff is not only good for the Indiana Fever, it's good for the entire WNBA.
The WNBA is suddenly the talk of the town, and a lot of that noise surrounds phenoms like Caitlin Clark selling out arenas left and right. But there's a pervasive narrative being pushed, one that suggests this boom is lifting all new stars to unprecedented heights of drawing power. Angel Reese, for instance, has been anything but shy, boldly proclaiming that she's a major reason people are suddenly glued to women's basketball, a pretty audacious claim. But what happens when those bold words crash headfirst into the brutal reality of a supposed hero's welcome?
Since Caitlin Clark has entered the league, the prevailing conversation around the WNBA has been drawing power.
You'd figure her return to LSU, the Bayou Barbie coming home, would be a sold-out spectacle, a purple and gold coronation, wouldn't you? Well, prepare for a shock, because what actually unfolded was less a celebration and more of an expose. The shocking lack of bodies in those seats didn't just whisper a different story, it screamed a truth that some folks seemed desperate to ignore.
There's one thing that Angel Reese is not. Angel Reese is not a draw. If you haven't believed me before, this weekend further proved that point. Because the Bayou Barbie was officially rejected in the Bayou. Angel Reese was rejected at home.
Angel Reese, a name synonymous with a commanding court presence and an even more assertive off-court persona, has never been one to shy away from the limelight or from staking her claim in the WNBA's evolving narrative. She has, on multiple occasions, made it unequivocally clear that she sees herself as a pivotal force in the growing viewership and popularity of women's basketball.
How embarrassing! Now, you're not going to hear this from the mainstream media, who continues to pretend that the Bayou Barbie is beloved. You're not going to hear this from the media, who continues to pretend that Angel Reese is a huge star.
Her declarations haven't been subtle. She's positioned herself as a key attraction, a player who brings eyes to the game, not just through her skill, but through her undeniable charisma and brand. So when the schedule revealed that her new professional team, the Chicago Sky, would play a preseason matchup at Louisiana State University, the very institution where she became a national champion and cemented her Bayou Barbie image, the anticipation was palpable. This wasn't just another exhibition game, it was meticulously marketed as a glorious homecoming, a hero's return to the adoring fans who had chanted her name, a validation of her journey from college icon to WNBA star. The script seemed written for a celebration, a deafening roar of approval from the LSU faithful.
Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese are not the same. Both had their homecoming celebrations this weekend. One of them sold out in 27 minutes. The other one couldn't give away free tickets.
But what happens when the kingdom you expect to fate you is only sparsely populated? What happens when the narrative of unwavering adoration collides with the cold, hard reality of largely indifferent attendance?
In case you were wondering, I did do the math. How many seats were actually left last night? Over 6,800. In a 13,000 capacity arena, there was over 6,800 seats still available. And some people were saying, by the way, that literally there were some $15 tickets out there.
Instead of the electrifying atmosphere and packed to the rafters welcome that one might expect for a returning national champion and self-proclaimed draw, Angel Reese's LSU homecoming was enveloped in an almost surreal quiet. The Pete Maravich Assembly Center, a venue that can throb with the energy of over 13,000 passionate fans, presented a scene that was less triumphant return and more subdued gathering.
Look at all those empty seats, folks. That is crazy as hell. I mean, empty, all that. Never mind all this. They could have put black tarps over it. Look at that. Look at that. Look, the WNBA still got problems. They got problems over and beyond one player. I don't know what they do about it.
Eyewitness accounts and damning photographic evidence began to circulate almost immediately, painting a picture not of adoration but of apathy. We aren't talking about a smattering of unsold seats in the nosebleeds. Entire vast sections, particularly in the expansive upper bowl, remained completely desolate, untouched by human presence. The emptiness was so pronounced that arena organizers didn't even bother to open these upper levels for seating, a silent admission that the anticipated demand simply hadn't materialized.
The Brazilians sent their national team to Baton Rouge to open the WNBA preseason against the Chicago Bravado. The event was marketed as a homecoming for Angel Reese. The Bayou Barbie returns to the Bayou to be worshipped by her millions and millions of adoring fans.
The broadcasters, skilled in framing shots to maximize the appearance of a crowd, reportedly had their work cut out for them, zooming in tightly to avoid showcasing the cavernous gaps of empty purple plastic. The vibe, which should have been celebratory and vibrant, was reportedly more akin to an echoing library than a roaring sports arena, a far cry from the hero's welcome that had been so heavily promoted. This wasn't just a few fans deciding to stay home, this was a visual indictment.
The crowd was praising their Bayou Barbie. The chants of Angel Reese could be heard all the way in the third row. Problem is, I wouldn't exactly call it a crowd. Even calling it a small gathering might be inappropriate. Perhaps a more suitable description would be a family reunion.
Let's move beyond the haunting visuals and delve into the irrefutable language of numbers, because statistics have a way of cutting through even the most expertly crafted PR spin. The official attendance figures for Angel Reese's much vaunted homecoming game reportedly hovered around a startlingly low 6,300. In an arena boasting a capacity well over 13,000, this figure represents less than 50% occupancy. Pause and let that sink in. A player who built her legend on that very court, returning as a new professional star, couldn't even entice half the stadium to show up.
Now, what I also think is hilarious is that they took that a step further. So if you go to the team store, the Indiana Fever's team store, you will see that they have a brand new t-shirt that they are selling. And that t-shirt says, "Every game is a home game." And then on the back, it says, "Now you know," with a sold out banner with all of their basically schedule. It's like a tour t-shirt and it says every game is a home game.
The narrative unravels further when reports about ticket pricing emerge. Sources indicated that seats were being offered at astonishingly low prices, some allegedly as cheap as $15 less than the cost of a movie ticket and popcorn in many cities. There were even whispers and online chatter suggesting that some tickets were being given away, a desperate attempt to fill the glaring vacancies and present a more respectable turnout. Yet, even with these bargain basement offers and the allure of a championship homecoming, the seats remained stubbornly empty. This wasn't merely a quiet night or an underwhelming crowd. For an athlete who has been so vocal about her drawing power and her role in elevating the women's game, this was a deeply uncomfortable public reality check served on the very stage of her past triumphs. The numbers didn't just whisper a story of disappointment, they shouted a clear message about perceived versus actual appeal.
As family and friends of Angel Reese welcome the Bayou Barbie back to the Bayou, pay very, very close attention to the so-called crowd. Roll the clip. This was her homecoming. This was supposed to be a night of celebration. It looked like an LSU home game in November of 2023, when Angel Reese was supposedly at the height of her drawing power. Thousands of empty seats.
Now let us pivot dramatically and examine a parallel preseason experience that offers a stunning, almost jarring contrast. While Angel Reese was contending with echoing silences in her old collegiate home, another rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark, was setting the WNBA landscape ablaze with an entirely different kind of fan reception. Her preseason debut with the Indiana Fever wasn't just a well-attended game, it was a full-blown cultural phenomenon. When tickets for Clark's initial preseason appearances went on sale, they didn't just sell briskly, they evaporated. Credible reports detailed complete sellouts in astonishingly short time frames, in some instances under 30 minutes flat. This wasn't a slow trickle of sales, it was a digital stampede, with fans refreshing browser windows with the kind of fervor usually reserved for Super Bowl tickets or concerts by global music icons. The secondary market for these preseason tickets exploded, with prices soaring to hundreds, even thousands of dollars for what are essentially exhibition matches. The energy surrounding Caitlin Clark is not just palpable, it's a transformative force, turning every arena she enters into an epicenter of basketball hysteria. This isn't just about a talented player, it's about a level of widespread, intense fan engagement that the WNBA has arguably never witnessed on this scale for a rookie, signaling a seismic shift in drawing power.
Sorry, young lady, nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA. Additionally, for you, this is all about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is bringing the money to the game, the planes to the game, the TV viewership. The WNBA is on fire because of Caitlin Clark.
The Clark effect, as this unprecedented wave of popularity is now widely known, doesn't merely confine itself to selling out her own team's home and away games. Its ripple effects are sending tremors throughout the entire league, forcing a fundamental recalculation of logistics and expectations. In a move that underscores her extraordinary drawing power, multiple opposing WNBA teams are making the highly unusual decision to upgrade their home games against Clark and the Indiana Fever to significantly larger arenas. Let that register. Franchises are literally relocating games, incurring additional costs and logistical complexities because their standard venues are simply incapable of accommodating the colossal influx of fans clamoring to see Caitlin Clark play live. This isn't standard operating procedure for any rookie in any league. This is a testament to a singular magnetic appeal that is creating a verifiable economic boom in every city she visits. Local businesses benefit, ticket revenue skyrockets, and the league itself basks in the glow of heightened visibility. She's evolved beyond being just a player. She's become a traveling economic stimulus package wrapped in a basketball jersey, a must-see attraction whose gravitational pull is reshaping the business of the WNBA in real time. This isn't manufactured media hype. It's a tangible, quantifiable impact proven by relocation strategies and unprecedented ticket demand.
Mama Reese got on social media and clapped back at the haters, which in this case were Caitlin Clark fans who were pointing out the empty arena. According to Mama Reese, Caitlin and Angel are not the same. We celebrating championships over here.
This brings us to an intriguing and increasingly pertinent discussion regarding Angel Reese's public persona versus her quantifiable ability to draw live crowds. Online, there is no denying her formidable presence. With millions of followers across platforms like Instagram and TikTok, the Bayou Barbie brand is meticulously cultivated and commands a vast digital audience. Her posts frequently go viral, her fashion choices spark conversations, and her online engagement metrics paint the picture of a bona fide digital celebrity. However, the starkly contrasting reality of her LSU homecoming attendance raises a critical question. Does this immense online army translate into tangible, ticket-buying, seat-filling support when it truly counts? If even a modest fraction of her Louisiana-based social media followers, or those within a reasonable travel distance who engage with her content daily, had decided to attend her homecoming, the Pete Maravich Assembly Center would have been bursting at the seams, a cauldron of noise and adoration. The reality, as we've seen, was a dramatically different scene, suggesting a significant chasm between digital clout and real-world drawing power. It forces one to ponder whether the millions following her are more invested in her online personality, her brand, and her lifestyle content, rather than her on-court exploits as a basketball player. The evidence from Baton Rouge suggests that online likes and follows don't automatically convert into paying customers at the arena gate.
But look at their career trajectory since then. Caitlin Clark is the only draw in the history of women's basketball. Angel Reese couldn't sell out home games at LSU, couldn't sell out home games in the WNBA in Chicago, can't fill half the arena for her homecoming celebration. Caitlin Clark doesn't beg for attention. Matter of fact, I would imagine that Caitlin Clark gets tired of the attention.
The uncomfortable truth, laid bare by these contrasting preseason sagas, directly challenges some of the prevailing narratives about who is genuinely driving the current surge in WNBA interest. Angel Reese has been notably forthright about her contributions, famously stating, "The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too." This was a confident, assertive declaration of her perceived impact and importance to the league's growth. Yet, the haunting visuals from her LSU return, the swaths of empty seats, the deeply discounted tickets that still fail to attract buyers, the palpable lack of buzz in a place she once reigned, provide a powerful and very public counter-narrative. While Caitlin Clark is demonstrably shattering attendance records, compelling venue upgrades, and generating unprecedented media frenzy backed by ticket sales, Reese couldn't muster even a half-full arena for her celebratory homecoming. The silence emanating from those thousands of unoccupied seats in Baton Rouge speaks volumes, casting significant doubt on the assertion that her drawing power is on a comparable level to the Clark phenomenon. This isn't about diminishing her talent or her past collegiate achievements. It's about an objective look at who is currently putting butts in seats on a consistent and league-altering scale. The evidence strongly suggests a one-sided affair in that department. In the final analysis, the tale of these two starkly different preseason experiences offers a crystal clear, if perhaps unsettling, insight into the current dynamics of star power and fan engagement within the WNBA. The contrast couldn't be more pronounced. On one side, we witness a player in Caitlin Clark whose arrival is igniting a wildfire of demand, leading to instantaneous sellouts, forcing league-wide venue adjustments, and creating an almost palpable electricity wherever she plays. Her impact is not just claimed, it's overwhelmingly demonstrated. On the other side, Angel Reese's much-anticipated return to her college stronghold, an event designed to showcase her star power, instead became a quiet testament to a potential disconnect between online fame and actual ticket-drawing ability. The thousands of empty chairs in Baton Rouge that night served as silent, irrefutable judges, delivering a verdict more potent than any press release or social media post. This isn't an indictment of one player's talent, but rather a sobering look at the authentic, measurable influence that truly grows the game. As the WNBA continues its exciting evolution, the real measure of who is moving the needle will ultimately be found not just in bold declarations or curated online personas, but in the undeniable roar or the conspicuous silence of the crowds who choose or choose not to show up.